Good evening, everyone. Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Sorry, a little bit late. What we were discussing, remember in the last class? We have done the null reporting, right?
Null
So
report.
everybody practice it. Anybody has got any doubts in null reporting? In the real time, this is the how we are going to get specifications. They want to have variable name, EMP ID. They want to have data numerical. Length they want to have 8. So since we do not have the label format and format, I will not discuss. Then we require the name variable. They want to have it as a character, and they want to have the length 7. And then they want to have age variable, numerical. They want to have length 8. Then they want to have a sex variable. They want to have it as a character variable. They want to have length 6. Then they want to have a salary variable, numerical variable, and the length they want to have 8. Finally, they want to have a location variable, numerical variable, location character variable. They want to have length 3. So in the real time, this is how they'll provide you the specification sheet. They will provide you the spec sheet. So when they provide specification sheet, now as a SAS programmer, you should write the code according to the specification they have given. Okay. Now, if this is the specification they have given, now how to write a code to create a data set according to this specification? They want to have EMP data set. They want to have the label employee salary report. You need to create the data set from the text file, this text file, and these are the variables they want to have. They specified what is the data type they want to have, what is the length they want to have, they will tell you. And this is called spec sheet, specification sheet, or rule sheet. Now tell me, according to this specification, now how to create a data set called EMP. And by the way, here I have a SAS folder. In that SAS folder, yes, I have a SAS data folder. In that I have, demo one text file. From this you should create. Right? Shift, right click, copy as path. I'll go to the program. I'm start writing the program. Tell me, how I should write the program? Yes, very good. Data, EMP.
Semicolon.
They want to have the label, no? This is the one they want to have. Very good. With the quotations. Now I'm writing the label, close the parenthesis, semicolon. Then I should write the in file. Shift right click, copy as path. Now go to the program and paste the path. Then input. What are the values they want to have? Can you see? EMP, name, age, semicolon. Which one they want to have character variables? Name is a character dollar symbol because this salary. Sex is a character variable. Specific dollar. Location character variable dollar symbol.
Location.
And I told you by default, if I write input statement, what is the length of the variable?
8.
But they want to have length 7 for name variable. You know what you should do, right? You know one thing. If by default 8, but if you want to have only 7, with $7,
7 dot.
7.
I will show you the text file. What is the problem with the 7 dot? You know, if I specify in the program 7 dot, every time it looks for 7. Tell me, do we require every time 7? No. And we have Usha, we require only 4. When we have Usha, we require only 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. But if you specify 7, what will happen now? 4, 5, 6, 7. Even the age value will also go to name value. What should I do now? Remember, I told you a special modifier called colon symbol. Tell me what the colon symbol will do. It reads data from the starting until it reaches single space, or
Single
the
space
length
is
that we specified, or end of the
And
record,
then
which
end of
comes
the
first.
comes first.
Now, in any given scenario, which is coming first, every time single space is coming first. Only when we have a Santosh, we require 7. Now tell me, what should I do for 6 variable? They require 6 length. Now 6 dollar symbol, 6 order. But do we require every time 6? When we have a male, we require only 4. Again, what should I do?
Colon.
I should specify the colon symbol. Because you know what is the colon symbol will do? Read the data from the starting until it reaches single space, or the length that we specified, or end of the record, whichever comes first. When we have a male, we require only 4. When we have female, then only we require 6. So since I specify 6, what is going to happen every time? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This also will go to 6, but I don't want to have that one. So I want to stop if you have a space before 6. That's why I'm specifying colon symbol. Then salary numerical variable, you no need to write anything. Then location character variable. Now tell me, I'm specifying $3 dot. Now, do we require colon symbol now? See the location?
No, sir.
Why we do not
Yes, sir.
require?
Last.
Last.
The location
It is the
is
last
for
variable.
3.
And
Even though it is the last way, every time we have 3.
Only 3.
Uniformly 3. So you no need to write colon symbol. But if you want, you can also write not a problem. Okay, but you don't require. So now the name length is going to be 7, the 6 length is going to be 6, and the location length is going to be 3. And EMPID is salary length by default, it will be 8 because they want to have anyway EMPID, age and salary, they want to have 8. Now I'm selecting this entire program. I executed this program. Now I go to the libraries, work library. Here we have EMP dataset. Can you see? I have 6 variables and 23 observations. I'm pretty much confident. Whatever the data that I created, this is according to the specification they have given. I read the specification very clear. I'm very confident. Now, according to the specification, I have written this program, and I am 100% sure that I did this according to that the sponsor given specification. Now, when I submit this data, they don't blindly accept the data set. Particularly Indian companies, what they will do, they will do double programming. You know what you mean by double programming? They'll give the same specification to you and to me also. And they will give the same demo one text file to you and to me also. They'll give the same task to you and me. And you will write this code and you are going to submit the code. And I will write my own code, I will submit the code. Since the specification is same, since the data is same, the output must be same, isn't it? If they have given the same specification to you and me, if they give the same data to you and to me also, obviously the end product should be the same, right? Isn't
Yes,
it?
sir. Yes, sir.
So I will submit my data set and you will submit your data set. Then they will compare my data set with your data set. They will compare all the ways. That means they will compare it at a variable level, they will compare at observation level, then they will compare at the value level. And if both are 100% same, then they will send this one to QC. So that process we call it as a validation. In Indian companies particularly, we follow double programming concept. So double program means the same program will give to the same task will go to two different programmers. So you don't know who is the other programmer. He may be in the same team, maybe different team in the same site, but the other person may sit in the client seat, client, like location. So what is so important? How they can validate this data set with other data set? If they want to validate, if they want to know what is the what are the variables that we have in this data set, what are the lengths that we have given, what are the data type that we have given, or a label in future in format, how we can understand. Now you should open the data set. Now if you want to know the characteristics of EMPID data variable, now what we should do, we need to double click this variable. When I double click, or if I give a right click, and then if I click on the column attributes, now can you see what we have here? Here we have a new window called column attributes. Now can you see what information we can see in this window? We can see the name of the variable. We can see the label of the variable. We can see the length of the variable. We can see format, informat, and we can see the data type. So variable name, label, length, format, informat, and data type. Now these 6 things are called column attributes. Column means nothing but variable attributes. So in future, when you submit the data set, now I will check these attributes. I told you, remember, when we were discussing about backend processor, where these attributes will be get saved. These attributes will be get saved where? In the descriptor area. And whatever the information that we have in the descriptor area, I told you what do we call it as a? We call it as a metadata. And I told you what is metadata? Metadata is nothing but data about data. So now this is my data. To keep this data in a table, I am creating variables. Now I am saving the variable information in descriptor area. So that means in the descriptor area, whatever the information that we have, this information, this is not actual data. This is data about data. And that data about data is called as a metadata. Where we can find that information? In the descriptor area. Now, how to see the descriptor area? Now, open the data set. Now, give a double click on variable. Now, we can see the metadata of EMPID variable. And if you want to see the name variable metadata, give a double click on the name variable. Now, you will get metadata of a name variable. So, if you want to see any variable metadata or attributes, you should give double click on the variable. Automatically, it will show you the attributes or metadata of that variable. So in the real time, now they validate by seeing this information or by seeing this metadata. In the real time, you have to submit your data. Not only the data, you have to submit the metadata also, because they will validate not by seeing the data, they validate it by seeing the metadata. If you have metadata is right, that means automatically the data would be right. Understand this? Now, if you want to see the metadata, what I'm doing, I'm giving a double click on the variable. But if I give a double click, you can see only one variable metadata, and you only can see. But how to submit this metadata to the client?
No.
In future, to get the metadata, we are going to use a procedure called proc contents. Do not worry about this procedure. We'll discuss about this process during the proc step. Now this proc content procedure will write all the metadata in output data set. Now I'm writing proc content. So what is the data set that we have? Data is equal to the data set name is emp semicolon run. Now if I execute this program, all the emp metadata will print in output window. Right now, do not worry about all this information. Just focus on the third table. Can you, what is the third table that we have? Alphabetical list of variables and attributes. Here we have a variable name, data type, and then length. Apart from these three, I told you what are the other attributes we are going to have in future? Label, format, and format. Since we didn't apply that one, we couldn't able to see, but in a minute we are going to see those things also. So now where I'm getting all this metadata, I'm getting the metadata in the result viewer. But if you have information in the result viewer, even you only can see this one. How to submit this metadata to the client? If you want to submit the metadata to the client in future, in the proc contents procedure, we are going to get out is equal to, say for example, a data set name. Now, whatever the metadata we have seen in the output window, now the same information will be saved in a data set also. Now, can you see in the work library, now I have a new data set called temp. In this temp data set, all the metadata of the EMP will be get saved. Whatever the information that we have in the descriptor area, that information will be saved in this data set. So I will export this data set to the client. Client is going to examine and validate this data set. Understand this one? Do not worry about the proc contents procedure. We'll discuss that one during the proc step. But what variable information we can find in the metadata? Do you know what variable information we can find in the variable metadata? So we can find variable attributes or variable characteristics. What are the attributes that we know? We have 6 attributes. The first one is variable name. The second one is variable data type or variable type. The third one is variable length. The fourth one we are going to have is variable label. Then fifth one that we are going to have is variable in format. And finally, we are going to have the last one, variable format. Now, these 6 things are called variable attributes or column attributes. Now, from today onwards, we are going to discuss about these 6 attributes. These are the very much basics of SAS, and everybody must understand and must know these 6 concepts. Now, the first one is variable name. You already know this one, but again, we'll discuss one more time. Now, when writing a variable name, what is the maximum that we can have? I told you, when you are writing SAS naming rules, I told you the length of the variable name or a dataset name. What is the length you should have? The length of a dataset name or a variable name must be less than or equal to 32 characters. That means, what is that we can have? We can have variable name, anything between 1 to 32 characters. Now here, what is my variable name length? 5. Here the name variable length? 4. Age variable name length is 3, sex length is 3, salary is 3, location is 3. Understand this one? And what is the second rule that we have? We should start with alphabet or underscore. We should start with alphabet or underscore. And what was the third rule we have seen? Remember? Can I have a number, but should not start with number. But should not start with number. You can have a number, but should not start with number and numerical value. And what was the fourth rule we have seen? Remember?
No special
No
character.
special character except
other than
Underscore.
underscore.
no special characters except underscore. Remember, these are the 4 rules we should follow. So the length of the variable name must be less than or equal to 32 characters. That means you can have anything between 1 to 32. You should start with alphabet or underscore. You can have a number but should not start with a number. No special characters except underscore. Yes, these are the 4 rules we should follow. So that means if I want to have, I can have a variable name EMPID1. Can you have EMPID1?
Yes, sir.
Yes, we can, because we have a number. So I wanted underscore name. Can I write underscore name?
Yes, sir.
Because we can start
Yes,
with
sir.
alphabet or underscore. I want to have age underscore 1, 2, 3. Can I have?
Yes, sir.
Yes, very good. I want to have EMP underscore, stances underscore sex. Can we have like this one?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, we can have. I want to have, say, for example, monthly. Monthly underscore, I want to have income underscore, underscore stances underscore December underscore 2020. Can I have a variable name like this one?
Yes, sir.
Less than 32.
Now see, if I select the program, execute the program, I'm going to have EMP. Okay, you see what are the variable names that we have? EMP ID 1 underscore name, age underscore 1, 2, 3, EMP underscore stances underscore sex, monthly underscore income underscore status underscore DEC underscore 2022, as long as it is less than 32 characters, less than or equal to 32 characters, so you can have in that way. So from now onwards, whenever you are writing a variable name, these are the rules we should follow. Clear, everybody? So, but in future, if you are coming into that clinical SAS, clinical domain, okay, length of the variable name according to the CDs or FDA guidelines, the length of the variable name must be less than or equal to 8 characters. In the base SAS, we can have up to 32 characters, but according to FDA guidelines, a variable name length must be
8 characters.
less than or equal to 8. And in the base SAS, you can write a variable name in any case. You can write an uppercase, lowercase, mixed case. But according to FDA guidelines, a variable name must be in uppercase. That is FDA guidelines. Okay, we'll discuss about those guidelines during the project class. But don't confuse it now. So we can write a variable name up to 32 characters. We can start with alphabet or underscore. You can have a number, but should not start with a number. No special characters except underscore. Clear, everybody?
Yes, sir.
Now, once you're done with variable name, now can you say what next second attribute that we have?
Variable type.
Variable
Type.
type, which is nothing but a data type. I want to create a data set. I'm taking few lines of data.
It's okay यार sorry बोलने की कोई जरूरत नहीं it's okay होता है अभी तो बोल
This is my data. I want to create data set. Okay, I'm deleting the previous data sets. Avoid the confusion. I'm writing data. I want to have a data set named DS1. Since we have an STM data, since we have a space delimit, you no need to in file. Directly, I'm writing input. I'm writing ID, name, sex, age, salary, semicolon, data names, semicolon. Finally, if you want, you can write a semicolon, then run semicolon. Okay. Now, tell me, if I execute this program, in how many variables I will get the data? In which variables I will get the data?
ID age salary.
ID and age.
ID,
ID
age,
is
salary.
salary, sir.
We will get the data only ID, age, and salary. You will not get the data in the name and sex. Why?
Character data.
Dollar symbol.
Dollar symbol.
So what does it mean? Why we should the dollar symbol?
A numerical
I want to have a
variable.
Character data.
SAS on
To
this.
specify them as character type.
We read
Specify them as a
numerical.
Very good. By default, now all these 5 variables are which variables?
Numerical
Numerical
variable.
variable.
So all the 5 variables are numerical variables according to this program. But why I'm getting data only into ID, age, and salary?
Because SAS can read numerical data.
Because the data is numerical as a numerical.
I told you, and numerical variable can read only numerical data.
Numerical data.
So ID is a numerical variable. Now the data is a numerical data because we know that space or 8 characters, whichever comes first, 001 space, 001 will go to ID. Not a problem because variable is a numerical variable, the data is a numerical data. Now, according to this program, name is a numerical variable, but here we are getting character data. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 space. So Donald should go to which variable? Name.
Name.
But remember on the other day, I told you, in PDV, all the numerical variables will have a period symbol. Remember
Yes.
that one?
Yes,
So
sir.
Yes, sir.
name is also having a period symbol, but the data is coming character data. A numerical variable cannot understand the character data. It cannot read. So that's why, remember, in the name variable, we will get the period symbol. Now, of the space, now M should go to sex variable. Now, according to this program, sex is a numerical variable, but the data is character data. It cannot understand. So in the sex variable, we will get a period symbol. Now, age is a numerical variable. Now, the data is a numerical data. It will read it because a numerical variable can read a numerical data. And 50,000 is a numerical value. Sal is a numerical variable. It will read it. So that's why if I select this program, execute the program in the DS1 data set, I will get the data into ID, age, and salary, but there will be no data in the name and sex. Now, what is our conclusion? Our conclusion can be a numerical variable can read only
Numerical data.
numerical data. The reason is, according to this program, all the 5 variables are numerical variables, but I'm getting the data only into ID, age, and salary because there only we have a numerical data. So that we can come to a conclusion, a numerical variable can read only numerical data. Now tell me, if I want to read the data successfully into name, what should I do? I have to give dollar symbol, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
And again, if you want to read the data into sex also, what should I do? I should give a dollar symbol. Now, when I give a dollar symbol, now this variable will become what variable now?
Character.
Character variable.
Now, in this input statement, now which are numerical variables, which variables are character variables?
Name and sex are character variable.
Character
ID,
variables.
age.
So ID is and
Age,
salary are
Numerical
numerical.
variables.
Numerical variable.
Very good. Now say if I execute the program, now can you see we are getting the data into name and sex. Now see if I open the ID variable, can you see what data type it is?
Numeric.
Numeric. Can you see we have a check mark for the numeric? And if I open that name variable, now can you see what data type it is?
Character.
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 So this is how we can, and I told you by default, the numerical data will align on the right side. The character data will align on the left side of the column.
Mm.
Now we can come to a conclusion saying that, say, for example, character variable can read character data. Character data. Now, after the ID, I am writing a dollar symbol. Now, ID will become which variable? Numeric or character?
Character.
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 But the data is
Numerical.
Numerical.
numerical. So I will execute this program. We'll check what is going to happen. So the variable is character variable, but the data is numerical data. So now open the DS1. Now do we have the data in ID variable?
Not
Yes.
aligned. Yeah.
Yes,
We
sir.
have data. So that means what is our conclusion can be? Your conclusion can be a character variable
Can read
can also read
numerical
numerical data. So
But
that
it-
means now what is our conclusion? A numerical variable can read only numerical data, but a character variable can read
Only character.
Numerical data.
Both
Numerical
character
data.
and
Both
numerical.
numerical
it can read both character data and numerical data.
numerical data.
Understand? So this is the conclusion that we can. So a character variable can read both character and numerical data.
Numerical data.
Of course, but it will read it as a character data.
Yes.
Yes.
Remember this one? We have discussed this concept previous in the
Yes.
starting.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Very good. So luckily in SAS we have only two types of variables and the data is only two types. The variables are two types, character variables and numerical variables. And the data is also two types, numerical data and character data. Now tell me one more time what a numerical variable can do. A numerical variable can read only the numerical data,
Numerical data.
but a character variable can read both
numerical.
numerical
Character
data
and
and
numerical data.
character data. Very good.
Alignments,
Pardon?
after keeping dollar symbol under ID, sir, where the alignment will come left side or
So obviously, the indication of the character data will always on the left side. So this also is going to be left side because see, if I open that ID variable, what data type it is now? Because I specified the dollar symbol. You know, to look wise, this is numerical data, but you should not say by seeing the 001 it's a numerical data. You should say whether it's in a character numerical only by seeing the alignment. Okay, generally, who will be on the left side?
Character.
Character. So to see to appear it is a numerical value, but we read this data as character data. That's why we have alignment on the left side. Understand this one?
Yes, sir.
No, that's great. Now we'll check the next concept. Say for example, here on my desktop, I have a SAS folder. In that I have a SAS data folder. In that I have a, CSV folder. I'll go to that Excel folder. In the Excel folder, we have an Excel sheet called cars. Here. I want to import this one. Shift, right click, copy as path. Go to the program. I'm writing a proc import procedure. Proc import data file is equal to path of the Excel sheet. In the same statement, out is equal to I'm writing cars. Out is equal to cars. Then in the same statement, DBMS is equal to XLS. If you want, you can add the replace semicolon run. Now, if I execute the program, we are going to have a cars data set. Do you know what variables we have in the cars data set?
Model.
Model.
Model type.
Type.
But what I mean is,
Origin.
did we specify the variable names in the program?
No.
No.
No, sir.
When you're creating a data set from in-stream data, we write variable names.
Yes.
When you're creating a data set from a text file, we write the variable names. So by seeing the program, we can tell which variables are present. But when you're importing an Excel sheet or a CSV, we never specify any variable names, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So then, what variables that we have? And by the way, not only that one, when you're creating a data set by in-stream data, not only we specify the variable names, we only decide which ones are character, which ones are numerical, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
But when importing, we don't even specify the variable names. How we can determine the data type of a variable? We never do that one. Because I told you, when you're writing in a proc input processor, SAS has the ability, when it is importing an Excel sheet or a CSV file, whatever the information that we have in the first row, that information will come as a variable name. Now, if this is the cars Excel sheet, what we have in the first row? Can you see what we have in the first row?
Variable
In the
names.
first column, we have a make. This make will come as a first variable. and this model will come as a second variable, and this third type will come as a third variable, and this origin will come as a fourth variable origin. So that means you no need to tell anything. When you're importing an Excel sheet, whatever the information that we have in the first row, automatically those things will come as a column names or variable names. You know why this is happening? Because in the program, by default, we are going to have a statement called get names is equal to yes.
Yes.
This is the default. Since we have a get names is equal to yes, the whatever the information that we have in the first row, that information will come as a variable names. Now, since the first row is coming as a variable names, from where you will get the data?
Second.
Now the data will come from the second row. So you know why? Because by default, we are going to have one more statement called data row is equal to 2. Understand this one? So that is okay, but how SAS will decide which variable is character variable, which variable is a numerical variable? మనం input statement రాస్తాం అనుకోండి. If you are writing input statement, we specified character variable by writing a dollar symbol. If you are not writing a dollar symbol, that means it is a numerical variable. But in this program, we never write the variable names. Then how we can decide, how SAS can understand which one is a character, which one is a numerical?
Based on the alignment.
It reads first
From, you know, yeah, from SAS, from the 9.4 onwards, what SAS will do? No, SAS will read the entire column.
The data, sir.
Understand it? It is going to read the entire column. In that entire column, if we have at least one character value, can you say how many rows that we have in the first column? 429. The first row has gone as a
Variable.
variable. So that means we have 428. Now we have 428 rows. In this 428 rows, if you have at least one character value, now this variable will become character variable. Do you have at least one character value?
Yes, sir.
Of course, in all the 428 records, we have a character value. Isn't it?
Yes, sir.
Now, SAS will decide this, the first variable, whatever that make variable that we have, this is going to become character variable. And in the model, again, do we have at least one character value?
Yes.
Of course we have. So this will become character. Now, say for example, here I have a column called horsepower. Now, do we have one character value anywhere?
No.
No.
No. Now this will become a numerical variable. So it will scan the records. Based on that, it will decide which one is character variable and which one is a numerical variable. It has got that ability to decide which one is a character, which one is a numerical. How it has got that ability? Because now by default, we are going to have one more statement called, guessing rows is equal to. Now we have an option called max. Previously, up to 9.2, we used to have only 20. But now we have guessing rows is equal to max. That means how many rows that we have in Excel sheet. It will detect all the rows. In that rows, if you have at least one character value, now automatically that variable will become character. Otherwise, the variable will become numerical variable. That is how SAS remembers. That is how it is going to specify, right? Which one is a character and which one is a numerical. Understand this one? So you don't need to tell anything to SAS when you're importing. It will automatically detect it and it will tell that one. That is how it will decide whether it's a character or a numerical variable. Clear, everybody?
Sir, model variable numerical కూడా ఉంది.
Numerical unna ఒక్క character na gani. Say for example, you have alphanumerical values, but still it is a character variable, because what is a numerical variable according to SAS? A numerical variable should have only numerical data. According to SAS, I will tell you maybe day after tomorrow's class. According to SAS, by default, what is a numerical value? If we have a value like this one, SAS can understand it is a numerical data. If you have a like this one, This can also SAS can understand. It is also numerical data. What is the special character here we have? A period symbol. But if we have a like this one, SAS cannot understand. But I know it is a numerical data. 5,000. But according to SAS, we have a special character. It cannot understand. Sometimes we'll get the data like this one. I know it is a numerical data, but SAS cannot understand. And sometimes we are going to get the data like this one. I know this is a numerical data, but SAS cannot understand. So either SAS అర్థం కాకపోతే, if we have a alphanumerical values like this one, how SAS can understand is a numerical? No, it is only character data. Understand this one?
Yes, sir.
Sir, can we apply for
What do you want to apply now, Badri?
Sir, can we apply first OBS and OBS?
Yeah, you can do that one. We'll do that one later.
But here, sir, first line of data will be the variable names, no? Then how
Okay.
it's going to be computed?
If you do not want to have, if you do not want to read these as a variable names, by default, get names is equal to what we have?
Get name
Yes.
is equals to S.
Yes, sir. I'm going to change that into no. If I change that no, automatically what the data row will become? Data row will become 1.
From 1.
1.
Now see, so it will read the data from the first. So since I'm specifying get names is equal to no, what SAS will do know? It will create its own automatic variables. Now, can you see make has become a data now?
Yes.
Cylinders is going to become which variable now? Character or numerical variable?
Character.
You know why?
Character, sir.
Because in the first row, what is the value that we have?
Character is also character.
I told you if you have at least one character value, that will become automatically
Character.
character. But now I do not want to read this one at all. So that means in the Excel sheet, in the first row, we have variable names, but I do not want to have those variable names. So then what we should do, I need to specify get names is equal to no, but data is equal to 2. So you'll get only the data, but the SAS will create its own automatic variable. So you'll not get that make, model, whatever you have, you will not get that one at all now. So even though you have a variable names in the Excel sheet, if you do not want to read it, now what you should write? You should write the get names is equal to no. But if you want to read the data from the 10th row or the 20th row, whatever the row from you want to read it, now we can read the data is equal to that number. But if you're not specifying at all, automatically now, since you specify the get names is equal to no, the data row will become 1. Understand this one? Clear, everybody? Now, so sometimes we also create a data set like this one. Now, we have seen three different ways how to create a data set. We have seen from in-stream data. We have seen by proc importing, Excel sheet or CSV files, and we have also seen how to create a data set from Excel from text file. But sometimes we also write a program like this one. I want to create a data set. Now I'm writing data demo semicolon. Now directly I will write variable name is equal to value and semicolon run. And this is called assignment statement. If I execute this program, what will happen? It will create a data set called demo. In that, we are going to have a variable called name. In that, we are going to have value called Srinivas. We can create a variable like this one also. Here, we are not going to use in-file statement or input statement or a data lens, nothing. Just simply, variable name is equal to value. Now see, I'm opening the demo data set. What variable we have in the demo data set now?
Name.
Name variable. And what is the value that we have?
Srinivas.
Srinivas.
Main
Now that is okay. My question is, what is the data type of name variable?
Character.
How SAS can understand it is a character? Remember, after the is equal to symbol, if you have anything within the inverted quotations, now SAS will think automatically the name is a character variable. If you have anything within a quotation after is equal to symbol, so now name variable is what variable?
Character.
Very good. Now I'm writing a variable called sal is equal to 50,000. You know what? Since I'm writing after is equal to without quotations, now salary will become
Numerical.
numerical variable. Okay, now see, if I select the program executed, we are going to have two variables. The first variable is a name variable. If I click on the name variable, can you see what is the data type of name variable?
Character.
Character. If I click on the salary variable, now what data type it is?
Numerical.
Numerical. That's good. Now, I am writing now fee is equal to, I am writing 10,000, but I am writing 10,000 within the quotations. Now, my question is, fee is a numerical variable or character variable?
Character variable.
Character. I told you, if you have quotations, automatically the fee will become character variable, even though you have a numerical variable. But you know that because a character variable can read
Character
both
and numerical.
numerical character data and numerical data.
Both character and numerical.
Very good. Now see, if I open this data set, now we are going to have a fee variable. In the fee variable, we have a 10,000. Though we have a 10,000, it is character variable. Now we'll get it out. What if I specify city is equal to HYD? Now city is what variable?
Numerical.
Very good. It will be numerical because of the is equal. Do we have a quotations here?
No, sir.
No.
Missing
So
value.
city will become a numerical variable, but a numerical variable cannot read the character data. City is going to have a period symbol. Isn't it? Because a numerical variable, when we do not have a value, how we are going to indicate?
Period symbol.
Period symbol. Now, eventually, HYD is also going to become a variable. That is also going to become a numerical variable. Now see, if I select the program, I am going to have two more variables, city and HYD. Can you see? City is a numerical variable. And even HYD is also a numerical. Can you see we have a period symbol? It is a numerical variable. What is the mistake I did here? I forgot to write a quotations. Now, if I keep a quotations, now this will become what variable now? Character variable. City is a character variable and the value will be HYD. Understand this one, everybody?
Yes, sir.
Now I'm writing, say, for example, data. I'm writing a DS1. I'm creating a variable called text is equal to, I'm writing, say, for example, this is, base SAS 7 p.m. class. What is the variable I'm creating? What is the value we have in that?
Text.
Variable
Variable.
is TXT, and the value is, this is base SAS 7 p.m. class. So we have one variable. See, if I select the program, execute the program, we have a DS1. Can you see? This is how we are going to have. Now we'll see what I'm doing. Now I'm ready. Again, TXT is equal to. Hi. Now tell me what will happen now. Just guess what is going to happen.
Another value will come under.
So you mean by two observations?
Yeah.
So one variable TXT
Two
and two
variables.
observations.
Two
What
Two
two variables?
variables, sir.
What are the two variables?
Again text.
Please.
Remember, in one data set, with one name, we can have only one variable. You cannot have two variables with the same name. That is against the SAS basic rules. Now, here I'm writing text is equal to some value, semicolon, text is equal to again. Now that means I'm writing the same statement two times, which is text is equal to. In SAS, if you write same statement two times, what will happen? always the latest statement will overwrite the previous statement. Now tell me what value I will get?
High.
High value.
I will get only high. I'll get only high. See, execute the program. We have a TS1. Now can you say what value I'm having?
High.
High.
So because this is also text variable, this is also text variable. But if I write like this one, you know what will happen? The first one is the text and the second one is text one. Now tell me how many variables I'm going to have? Two variables.
Two variables.
Understand this one, everybody?
Yes.
So now when writing a variable name like this one, how SAS decides which one is a character and which one is a numerical? After is equal to symbol, if you have anything within the quotations, then the variable will become a character variable. If you have anything openly, then automatically that variable will become numerical variable. So luckily in SAS, we have only two types of data, numerical data and character data. We have only two types of variables, numerical variables and character variables. Clear, everybody?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Okay. So I'm going to stop for today's class here. And please, by tomorrow onwards, please come by sharp 7. We'll start by sharp 7 o'clock. Okay?
Sir, here we didn't mention the length, right? By default, it will read only 8 characters. Then
No. When you're writing input, then only the default length is 8. But if I write a program with this one, of course, I will explain that one tomorrow because the next attribute is
Variable length.
Since you asked me in today's class, if you create a variable like this one, whatever the data that we have written, that is going to be length. Okay? We'll discuss about that length in tomorrow's class.
Sir, can we use input statement in the proc import, sir?
No, input only for data step.
As you said, sir, if you don't want to read first row as a data row, if we want variable names, what to do, sir?
So get names is equal to yes, data is equal to 3.
And also we need middle data, sir, not the first starting data.
So
we need something.
So you want to have random observations, right? That is whatever requirement. You want to have, say, for example, 5 to 50, maybe 5 to 15, 50, 75 to 100, like that one. So you cannot do that one. First, you need to get the data into SAS, then we can filter the data. First, we should create a data set, then we can delete the observation.
And then we can just. Okay.
Okay, then. See you guys. See you in tomorrow's class.
Okay. Good night, sir.
Good night, sir. Bye.
Thank you, sir.